Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the bakery. I know it's been a while with Monster Hunter Wilds and I've been busy tending to other things, but anyways, in today's challenge, we're actually seeing how much of the challenge I can remove from Dark Souls 3. Are there any rules for this challenge, you may be asking? Well, of course there is. Do you not understand the concept of the challenge? While there are some rules, that doesn't mean there are very many of them. Really, only no cheating and no using summons. But other than that, it's just about how easily I can make this game bow before me. So, let's get into it. We start by making our character Anus Butt 2, because I forgot to record the conception of Anus Butt 1. We decide to choose the Mercenary class, as this gives us the Sellsword Blades, which, in my opinion, is pretty much Dark Souls 3's easy difficulty option. Hence, that's what we will be using for this challenge. We finish up by giving ourselves a Firebomb keepsake. Then, it's off to the Cemetery of Ash. There's not much to do here, so we pick up our flasks, then give our good friend Gundyr the old Souls player greeting. Just for gits and shiggles, originally, this video was supposed to be out 2 months ago. But Monster Hunter came out, and along with other games that I played. Also, because I live somewhere roughly here, we often get lots of storms during some point in these months. But since I live somewhere roughly here, and Mother Nature hates me, my room flooded. Enough of that. Thanks to the Twin Blades, we get him to phase transition rather quickly, and all that's left for us to do is back up and use our fire bombs to finish him off.
Hooray!
So, we head to the back of the fire link, and get a little exercise in before heading into the rafters to pick up our Zesty Shard and our currency multiplier. We talk to Andre, relocating all of our sippy cups into Estus since we won't be using any magic. We also use our Zesty Shard to gain another drinky drink, put some levels into health, and off to Lothric. After arriving, we head to the tower on a wall bonfire. We head to Firelink to bring our weapon up to +1 and pour some more juice before we head back out and free Grey Rat. Well, there's Grey Rat, he's free. No, I promise I'm not gonna drop some random edit. Alright, I'm sorry, it won't happen again! Finally, it's Vordt time. Our first attempt was almost perfect, but I forgot that I just suck at this game. Vordt ends up going down on our second attempt, however, and we head back to Firelink immediately after, to come home to our baddie wife and our warm, beautifully aesthetic home. Back in Vordt's arena, we talk to Miyazaki's wife, then wave a banner in front of a cliff. Oh hey Terry, it's nice to see you again. Thank you Terry, Gwen bless you. In my favorite area of the game, we speak to youll, and then go through a gate before thinking, how does something like this even happen? These dogs literally find a way to break every Souls game. Anyways, regardless, we pick up the Mortician's ashes and an undead bone shard before making our smelly way back to Firelink. We give the handmaiden the ashes and speak to youll. Believe it or not, for the first time in the history of me playing this game, I'm actually going to accept his free 5 levels. First, however, we gotta jump off a cliff multiple times. Then, and only then, after proving we hate ourselves almost as much as you do in real life, youll will grant us his blessing. We speak to Andre, and like the gentleman with baby hands he is, he upgrades our sippies, and calls us pretty. Aw, thank you, Andre. Afterward, we go ahead and burn this bone shard before warping back to the undead settlement just to wrap around it. Oh, hello there, mancakes. Tips hat with fedora. Tips fedora with hat. God damn it. We grab a bonfire to unlock a shortcut, so we have easier access to Squigorg. I'll leave that in there. Before heading up a tower and politely asking this foot to make peace so he stops throwing his toenails at us. I mean, really, Miyazaki, what's with you and foots and feets and all that toji? We head down the elevator and do it out the back door before making our way through the Crucifixion Woods and grabbing the grass crest shield. It's time to sit and have a chat with our old friends about the political and economic state of the world right now. Anyways, it's time to fight. After we double pump that we head into this dilapidated building and grab the Flynn ring. Equipping it gives us a damage bonus that scales with a lower rate ratio. I don't know what exactly the scaling is, but hopefully it's useful. However, when putting that bad boy on, I realized that we haven't been using the serpent ring all along. I've been missing out on a whole bunch of souls. Almost immediately after, we fall into a tower and grab the Calamity ring, which increases our stamina regen by another 7 points per second. Then we're off to eliminating our favorite YouTuber. Just for reference, I'm reading my script and Mancake's put a reminder in my script that I made a joke I can't put in the video, so we're just gonna skim over it. We pop his testicles one after another. Then give his hand a nice rubbing before he falls to his knees like a good tree. Using his life force, we level up our endurance twice and head to Miyazaki's bum, where unfortunately, unlike last video, this time these two homeless men got the best of us. The second time around, we end up giving these guys the anti-homeless bench.
Bye, have a great time.
Before heading into Farron, grabbing a zesty shard, extinguishing 2 fires, collecting a bone shard, and getting impaled like Logan in the hit movie Logan, when we were just trying to make our way to the 3rd fire. Don't worry, eventually we did end up snuffing the last bonfire. Afterward, we head up to the old wolf Farron and grab the Dream Chaser ashes, meaning we can head back to Firelink, and then give them to the Living Dark Souls 2 callback.
Hooray! +2.
We actually need to head back to the Undead Settlement to get a Sharp Gem, but before we use it, we gotta warp back to the Road of Sacrifices, run past this Black Knight because I forgot to grab the Farron Coal. After that, we speak to Andre. Oh, I don't have enough moolah. There we go. Now we have a Sharp Twin Blade, which makes our dex scaling up to an A, allowing our damage output to soar all the way up to new heights. Then we grab a couple large Titanite shards, get a little bit of poopy on us, and kill the Stray Demon, because for some reason we need Havel's Ring. We speak to the Handmaiden, buying 2 Titanite shards, which means we can now upgrade our weapon to +4 after using the large Titanite shards we'd collected. Now, we shall attempt the Abyss Watchers. That guy Cairo lore drop. This is one fight I do not like in this game. I just hate it. He takes us a couple tries, but after a little bit of persistence, he goes down without too much of an issue. I actually forgot to use our undead bone shards, so a lot of the reason I kept dying was because I had to use 2 flasks to heal every time. Now that they're dead twice over, that's the first Lord of Cinder down, so we use his essence to level up our decks even more. Then it's time we quickly dispatch of Crystal Sage. I said quickly. So, we run past the cleansing chapel and use a zesty shard. I just want to say, if I get jumped one more time, I'm donezo. Regardless, we head back to the chapel, grabbing another couple of zesty and boner shards. Then we head to the roof, dodging all the goon plexes that stand in our way.
Oh, brother, this guy's still.
Until we make it inside and unlock a shortcut back to the chapel, followed by collecting Lloyd's ring. After getting our shoes wet, we unlock the last 2 shortcuts, and we make our way up to the actual roof. Thank God I first tried this jump, I always mess it up and die. Hey Rosaria, let me just grab this bonfire and cool it. However, that's when I notice, Patches isn't here. I overlooked it. However, because I said in the rules that there are no summons allowed, meaning I can't use Sigurd to fight Yhorm, I'll just have to use the weapons in his arena. Now it's time for the deacons. I really hope this isn't as hard as last video's attempts. Oh my god, we first tried. I don't really know why I was expecting a problem. Back in our old stomping grounds, we level up a bit and use our shards. After all that clutter, we arrive back at the Abyss Watchers, revealing a secret tunnel. What better to do than enter it? Like I said in my last video, if you just stick to the right wall, eventually you'll find a bonfire. The catacombs are short, so we just break this bridge and on our way down to the Smoldering Lake to fight the old man Demon King. Unlike Mancakes, who couldn't even kill him in his last video. What a loser. To be fair, he was using pyromantics. Wait a goddamn minute. I'm not putting that in there. He wrote this in my script. Before facing Demon King though, we run through the sizzling pond, pickling up all the Titanite chunks we can find. Ballista shoots this worm. Useless spell.
Hooray!
Into the burning prostate dungeon we go, picking up just a few more Titanite chunks, and making some upgrades before facing old Demon King. Oh boy, look at that damage. I wish he'd just give up already.
I love being purple!
Wow, that was super easy. Let's go straight to the hardest boss of the game. Just as easy as always, we pretty much one-tapped all 3 of his bracelets. He then falls into the abyss, being a little less accepting of his defeat. We exterminate this rat who wreaked havoc on our last run. As an apology, he gives us Pontiff's left eye, which increases our weapon's damage as long as we continue landing our haymakers. Shouldn't be too hard, considering the weapon we're using. I actually couldn't remember where to go, but eventually I ended up making it to the Church of Yorshka, so we should all be okay now. Ooh, tasty bone shard. Still water? Look at this guy. Daydreaming of the Princess of the Sun, huh? Don't worry, man, I understand.
She's mine, goddammit.
Anyways, we kill some doggy, then unlock a shortcut. Down, boy, down. We ended up needing a refill, so after our restoration of body fluids, we head down to our shortcut, eventually opening up another shortcut in front of Pontiff's arena. So you all know what that means. It's time for that one fight. The best fight. Mr. Sullivan's fight. We almost first tried him, but I accidentally healed on an attack opportunity. However, it was much smoother on our second attempt, and I'm so sad it ended up being this easy. Anyways, it's time to move on. Now it's time to run up these battlements. Grab the elevator. Yay, Interlando. I'm really disappointed in Interlando in Dark Souls 3. It's so lackluster compared to the first game, and doesn't mean a whole lot to the gameplay of Dark Souls 3. I personally feel like FromSoft only added it in, so we still knew it was relevant to the story, since Dark Souls 2 kinda messed it up. Kids, close your eyes. You don't want to see what happened here to our old giant smithing friend. Anyway, making it past the chilling sight, we open the front door to Interlando, and it's time for Aldrich. Huh? What was that? You asked how it took more than 3 tries? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It just happened. Let's move on together, shall we? We sell that boss's soul for our own good, and use it on more health. Now that it's at 1,000, I'll never touch it again. It's time for the dancer, and we actually second tried her. I also had a bloody nose during this fight, with no tissues in arm's reach. Suffice to say, the struggle is real. With that, she goes down. And not too bad. All of this progress has only been done in a single day, within 5 hours. I'm locked in. However, before we take on the rest of Lothric, I have to kill Yhorm. If you're wondering why I'm already at the profane capital, it's because my unintelligent ass forgot to hit record whilst venturing through Irithyll dungeon. So, I'll just give you a recap. We used the Jailbreaker's key to skip majority of it. Then, we ran through a dungeon of people that enjoy every New Year's COD game, before 2 giant spiders chased us all the way down to the Archdragon entrance. But I, sly as ever, cleverly made them fall down the elevator shaft. Haha, take that, Wilmark. But with that being said, it's time to fight Yhorm. And even though he took us down, it's okay. Honestly, I forgot you have to let the sword spear charge, and you can't use it immediately. But we ended up no-hitting him on our second attempt. Not like that's an accomplishment, since it's a gimmick fight. Finally, it's time for Lothric, so we go to the Consumed King's Garden, first picking up the loose Titanite chunks, and opening a shortcut before it's time to take on Osiris.
Dear little Ocelot, where have you gone? Are you hiding from me?
Thank God we first tried him. I got the worst rotations of attacks on this fight. So, after Osiris goes down, we grab the dragon emote to fight the Nameless King later, but we ain't wasted no time now, so it's time for Champion Gundyr, who I almost first tried, but ended up dying to before I could heal. Another second tried boss it is. After killing Gundyr, we head to Firelink Shrine, but spooky, grabbing Mancakes' favorite item in the game. Why does he keep adding this stuff to it's my favorite item too. Then, grab our Queen's eyeballs. Selling Gundyr's soul, we have reached 55 decks. Holy. Now it's time to head back to Lothric, and we have our eyes on the prize being Dragon Slayer armor. On our way there, we got jumped and killed. Just like we're finally able to bring our sellswords up to +9, and now it's time for Mr. Armor. Wow, that fight was pathetic. And hey, it was no hit like my last video. Except this fight only lasted a few seconds. Who would have expected slashing to be so effective against
Diamond armor, full set.
After killing him, we level up, but you already knew that by now. So, we make a speedy trip through the archives. Bone Shard. We grab this Estus Shard and a Titanite Slab, granting us +10 on our blades. Now, it's time to take on the twins. And for some reason, I had the hardest time with them. Usually, this boss is super easy, but after banging our head into the wall like the Souls player we are, they eventually go down.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one. Purloiner of cinders. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest. Dear brother, mark my words, Ash One.
And with that, all 4 cinders are ash.
Remain.
So we head to the Firelink Shrine to offer all 4 of their heads.
And the lords go without thrones. Surrender your fires.
Once we got to the end of time, I remembered there's a king in need of slaying. So we meditate, staring off into the distance. When we awakened, we arrived in the Archdragon Peak. First things first, let's take care of this. Then, we run through the remaining bits of the peak, before eventually making it to Nameless King's Arena. He took us around 5 tries, but with a little bit of persistence and barely any patience, he goes down. Now, it's time for Soul of Cinder. But with that said, we link to fire, and our story in the lands of Lothric is complete. But we have another story in distant lands, so we travel to Ariandel. Then I learned that puppies are able to break bridges. Why? On our way back though, we make it across, just barely, before the Storm King comes back to life, and sends me flying. We get to the roots of Ariandel and kill Scooby and his Shaggy, before we run through the most accurate depiction of my living area. Flip a lever, and now it's Frida time. And now it's Frida time. Frida was surprisingly the hardest boss of this challenge. I couldn't tell you why. Usually, I have her fight down to a T, and can usually kill her within the first 3 attempts. Anyways, after a little rages and a day later, she goes down. Now it's time for a DLC that I don't like, but hey, it's for content. We get teleported to the end of time, dodging anals and grabbing the Fappy Ring +3. We climb onto some roots and get to the base of the Demon Prince fight. It only took us around 5 attempts. This fight isn't hard, it's just annoying depending on which order you kill the demons in. But they were no match for our Swords of Might, because the damage output is Goonplex. After killing him, our favorite Terrys give us one last visit, and bam, we're in the Ring City. I'll be honest, I didn't do much but just run straight to the bonfires. I don't like this DLC and don't want to be in it for too long. Eventually, we make it to the swamp, and manage to get through this tower. I swear I was stuck in it for at least 10 minutes. You can see my lack of playtime in this DLC by how I go through it. Then, that brings us out to the front of... what's this boss's name again? I seriously don't remember. Well, anyways, we first tried him. After all, it's an NPC fight. After killing him, we head to the back of the building. Then, up an elevator, and it's time for my favorite fight in Dark Souls 3, other than Pontiff. Look at this! Do you see how close we got first try? It would have been so cool if we first tried Gale. After going through all of my footage, I realized I never fought Madir. That sucks, I guess. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I had a blast recording this video, even though it was supposed to be scheduled to come out over 2 months ago, but hey, I can't do anything to stop Mother Nature. If you like my content, I'm sure you'd love my friends. Go make sure to check out Mancakes' YouTube channel in the description below. Don't forget to comment on this video as always. Interacting with you guys is the best part of content creation for me. Anyways, with that being said, hopefully I'm back on schedule, and have a fantastic day. Don't go hollow, old friend.